it could have problems with it, because they've all said it's cash business, federal law, none of the banks will touch it because you don't want to have their license jeopardized by dealing in a Class 1 narcotic. So you have a lot of cash involved with the business. If you have the dispensaries, there's a potential for criminal activity, and we just didn't want it. And the only other kind we looked at, that you can also have one that grows it, which would be a big warehouse, and I think there's about 6 of them signed up to do it in Oregon, I think. And then, or you can have a medical testing facility or a transport one. And again, transport one I think is probably going to be a target for people to rob, or because they're dealing in all cash. I mean, they joked about it kind of in the seminar and said the way they do banking businesses with bags of money, that's how all of it's done right now. So until that changes and anybody sees what they can get out of it, and I just don't think we have that much commercial property. We really don't. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions or comments, motion to adjourn and move to the fire board.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, Kevin, we're all here. It's your board meeting. Good. And I saw some, what I thought looked like pretty good numbers. In fact, I wrote on my front page, wow.
For September, we had 77 calls, which is pretty low, but last year we had 125 calls. The year before, set on here, I think it was 66 calls. And for the year right now, we're at 927. And you can see there that last year we had 1,050, so we're really not that far off.
No, I would say, yeah, it looks like it's kind of hanging in the mid-range from what we have typically. And I looked at all of your service evaluations, feedback from the additional clients that you take to the hospital. And except for one, I think they were all really exceptional. I don't know what the one.
Was that the one that we couldn't start an
happy
IV
the
on?
way the IV got started or something?
Yeah, we couldn't get an IV on her. So
And sticker a couple times.
yeah, neither one could get it. So it happens.
But all the rest were just glowing reports, so I think that's very good. Is there, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in on you. There's a couple other items you want to cover.
We have I'd like to recommend hiring Jacob Mahoney. He's a firefighter / EMT, just walked in off the street, came up here, so Patty. He's got a very good resume. I do not have access to the background check stuff right now, but I'll see if I can get that, but he seems like a really good kid. And we're very short on EMT basics right now. We're pretty good on medics, so I'd like to recommend hiring him.
So if you want a motion to hire him, subject to his background check and then coffee shots.
Some paperwork. Second, or,
That's my motion, you second
I'll
it?
second.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? Any from the audience? Okay. Would you take a roll call on that, please? Carrie?
Bob DePalma.
Yes.
Patty Back.
Yes.
Dave Axe.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Dale Cason.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing is I'll let Lieutenant Decker brief you on it. He's given you a package. We really need to build some form of training center that's at least 2 stories tall. And we tried looking at the tower at Station 2. We need to use charged hoses and things like that, so it's not very conducive to training. So we talked with Springfield and a little bit with Brandon, but I'll let Lieutenant Decker, he's the training officer. If you look at your package, you can see what we're kind of looking at.
You did a nice job on this.
Thank you. So basically at the beginning of this year, the chiefs from Oakland County got together and dictated that all of our RIT teams should be on the same page. Now what a RIT team is, I do have some extra packets if anyone from the audience would like one. Basically what a RIT team is a crew that's on a fire ground scene, and with the other crews attacking the fire, if a crew gets in trouble, gets lost, or something terrible happens, unfortunately, the RIT team is on standby. They're ready to enter the structure to save the firemen. That's their whole job. They have no other task on the fire ground except to be ready to go in to rescue the firemen. So beginning of this year, the chiefs got together and said, well, since we all help each other on the fire grounds, we all should have the same idea what a RIT team is. So they dictated a list of education, and I listed some of the exercises and drills in the packet. but they expect the firemen to all have a certain level, a certain standard of training. And currently, I have nowhere to practice that training. Like Chief mentioned, we have Station 2, but the Nance drill, the horseshoe drill, and some of the others require a charge line, and we really don't want to carry a charge hose line that drips water everywhere into the tower at Station 2, because Chief has plans for that in the future. So you have
they're
the
not black mold, right?
yeah. The other one's the Nance drill, where the Nance drill is a Cincinnati fireman that actually fell through the floor during the structure, and they spent the next 20 minutes trying to get him out of the basement, and they couldn't figure out a way to get him out. And firefighter Nance actually ended up passing, so they went back and worked on, and they came up with the Nance drill, and then you have the horseshoe drill. But all these exercises, we're supposed to have a standard, and the guys are supposed to be very proficient at these. I just don't have a place to train. So what I'm looking to do is to buy 2 shipping containers, 2 40-foot shipping containers. We're going to stack them up behind Station 2. The lower shipping container will be strictly used as storage for the fire department. The upper storage container is going to be for my training. From there, we just build a simple staircase up to it. I cut out a couple window holes. The guys can practice bailing out. We won't do any damage to the side of Station 2 because they'll be on the shipping container. And we can put up temporary walls inside. We can practice breaching through walls. We can practice search and rescue. Obviously, you close the doors on a shipping container, it's pitch black in there. So it just gives me the perfect opportunity to do effective training. The cost, we've been talking very fast, and I've made lots of phone calls on getting shipping containers. Roughly $2,200 is what Barry's offering us
Per container.
per container, plus there's a delivery fee. But that beats, most other companies are looking around $3,000 or $4,000 for.
I've seen some of them advertising.
Yeah, and Craigslist you'll see $16.95, but they're coming from Chicago. It's like $4,000 to deliver
Get
them.
it in.
So don't be fooled by
They
the
can get a
Craigslist
container,
price.
right?
Yeah, so if we get 2 shipping containers, weld them together, my idea is to overhang 10 feet on the upper container. Yep, just like that. And that allows me to cut a hole in that upper container where we can practice the Nance drill and the horseshoe drill. And like I said, we can cut a couple of small holes, we can frame it, we can do anything I want. Put a charge hose line and then squeegee it out. I mean, there's several other departments in the county that are going to this format because they are just so cheap and efficient. So I'm looking to spend up to $6,000. Chief has been talking with other departments, see if they will contribute money towards this project. But
Springfield's on board.
Good.
I said, can you donate $1,000 to it? And they said, "You absolutely want to do it after January 1st when their new year starts." I talked to Brandon. They're on board with the idea. They want to use it. We haven't been able to get a time together where we can sit and talk more about it. But he seems like he's on board. He wants to use it. I know that. Because he wants to pay for
That
it.
part you don't have to ask.
But he wants to help pay for it. I don't know yet. But
the other nice thing is when the new station wanted built,
We can move it.
we can move it very
But you'll
easily.
need the lower one that you're gonna, because you need some storage space at too, right?
correct.
So we just have to get a new base one when we.
Or we could move it over there. I mean, it's where the stuff is located.
Oh, you don't care, okay.
Not that important. And as far as the neighbors, the only one that can see it is
Cody.
to the east of the station, and he's on the fire department, so I'm pretty sure he's not gonna see it. So that's, I guess that's basically it. But it's training. Fortunately, we don't get a lot of fires.
But you still need to be
We need to
prepared.
train because we don't do a lot of fires. So it's, Lieutenant Decker's been doing us a lot of smoke training lately where we even went up to Rotten Manor, we smoked the whole place up and drug people out and things like that. So it's necessary training. So
I mean, this training is the training that you learn to save another fireman. So, I mean,
No, it's important.
it doesn't get more critical than that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve up to $6,000 from the fire capital outlay reserve for the 2 shipping containers to be made into the training unit.
Is there a second? Second. By Dale. Any other questions or comments from the board?
to deliver gravel.
From the audience? Carrie, take roll call.
Patty Back,
Yes.
Dave Axe.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Dale Cason,
Yes, and I have 2 questions if that, when you're done.
Bob DePalma.
Yes.
Chief, would there be any rent opportunities there to?
What we talked about, Springfield said, I'd rather be billed every time I get there. I said, well, that's kind of like a nightmare. But let's say if Brandon says, no, we're not going to pay, then we'll probably charge a fee for that. But we want to just make it available for everybody in the area.
This, but one of the, well, you and I had talked about this earlier, because one of the things is, this kind of training stuff is actually required with that ISO training going forward. And we don't have one right around here, so this will take care of that for all of us.
We can go down to the Crest Center, the old fees. If we use our people on a Saturday, it was $150.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone up now. But we also have to vacate the whole township in order to go down there and use
Yeah,
it.
that's
So-
not good.
Why you beat me to my second question is, does that have any future impact on an ISO rating?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's required.
Well, there you go. But I was talking more like a federal grant or something like that.
Actually, Bob and I have talked about that when we go to the new site over there, we build a new station. There's a whole bunch of things you want to go in for a regional grant to add on to this. Bloomfield Township has a rather extensive one, I hear, out of containers. And I think it's Southline or Southfield has just did one with 2 containers, and Chief Feichner and I plan on going down there and take a look at what they have.
Hey, when you go, I'd like to go in there.
And so it's, the good thing about containers is easily changeable. Matter of fact, Springfield's coming up using our station too, just because it's different. So his people have been in there doing some training, because if you're doing training every month, well, the same room, okay, it's gonna be on the right-hand side, there's a door here. We have to go in places where we're not familiar. That's the other advantage. The container, we can put false walls in there. We have to breach through them and things like that with tools. So, and it's just 2x4s and sheetrock. So,
I think it's an outstanding idea.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
You know, the other nice thing is, you know, because the whole idea of the RIT is, you know, we have a structure fire here tonight. Brandon, we could call them over and they're going to be our RIT team. So having them come over and play, having Springfield come over and play in our training facility, I mean, it's nothing but good for us.
Stuff
so.
builds better camaraderie between the fire departments anyway. I agree, all that stuff's good to have. It's nice to have a more congenial relationship with the fire department.
Bang for the buck, I can't think of a better option.
No, I agree, it's good stuff.
And we wanted to buy that little container anyway, just
Just
for
storage,
storage.
yeah.
So we reviewed, you know, also looking up building up a wooden frame structure, and on top of the container, like, you know, by the time you're done, you might as well just get a second container.
Less maintenance, I would think, and you can beat it up more
And
and
you can get it soaking wet and,
there you go.
like he said, squeegee it up.
Nice job.
No live fire in there at this time anyway, but we're gonna do smoke and everything else, but I'm not saying it's not feasible, but maybe not right now.
The roof and make it a toaster, right? Okay.
Well, we use the shipping containers for the flashover training.
We don't want to burn it down the first time.
No.
They use shipping containers frequently for flashover trainings and things like that, because obviously they don't burn.
Yeah.
They get a little toasty, but they don't burn.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anything else?
Make
Great
motion
job.
to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions from the board, from the audience? Motion to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.